real treat here, ladies and gentlemen, to invite on this bandstand the great, the one and only Ernest Ranglin.
Chances are, if you are a fan of traditional Jamaican ska, then you are quite familiar with the name Ernest Ranglin. And if you don't know his name, then you certainly know his sound, as his licks and chords have defined the sound of ska from the 50s into the 90s. Today on Carib Nation Television, we feature the original ska master and reggae pioneer, Ernest Ranglin. When America wants to know what's happening in the Caribbean diaspora, there is one clear choice.
Hello, welcome to Carib Nation.
Both people inside and outside are
very excited about today's program.
Looking at you, I can tell that you have traveled the journey.
One television organization brings America close to the people, stories, and events that affects Caribbean life. Get close, get answers, get Carib Nation.
Guitarist par excellence.
One of these days.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for joining us on Carib Nation. It's a pleasure to talk with you.
You're very welcome. It's an honor for me to do this.
Let's start out by going way back to when you first started. I understand you started playing on the ukulele.
Yeah.
Tell me about your childhood. What interested you in music in the first place, and how did you become involved with music?
Well, my parents, like my grandmother and my aunts and so forth, and my uncles, they were involved in not professional music, but like for church and so forth. So I guess that's when I got the urge to try and play also, but somehow I guess maybe it was just born in me because I seem to, that's where I levitate most of the time towards music, and you know, but I tried. I was fairly good at school too, but I guess music was really my,
was the key. They often say that if you're good at music, it helps you academically anyway.
Well, I generally come first in my class, nearly every class I've been.
Wow.
But in my days, it was like from first to sixth class, this is what we had. Now, right. Forms like these people.
Right. So you moved into the teenage years and moved on from there.
Yes, so when I went there, I was really into my music. I used to play
you play the ukulele mostly or guitar?
Yes, ukulele at the time. Lunchtime, I would play for the teachers, we enjoy ourselves. But somehow I was a very great lover of cricket.
Oh,
yes. And I used to play a little football too, but I used to get too many cuts on my shin. So, cricket was my favorite. And we didn't have a playground, so to speak, so I had to go other places, and then I forget to take off my epaulette when I go these places. And they gave me, I always have to pay, they do a lot of punishment, 100 lines or 1,000 lines. And then after all these lines, sometimes I got tired of it,
So you used your music as an escape.
Yeah, but
or it's a solace.
Yeah, but at this time I think it was too much, so I decided music is now is going to be the...
That's what it has to be.
Yes, so that's where I really...
You just gave up school and went straight into music?
Yes, yes.
When did you become professional?
Well, I was 14 at that time, and I'm self-taught to begin with.
Yeah.
And I bought a lot of books, and I studied, and in about 2 years, they say that I was the #1 guitar player for Jamaica.
Wow.
I was about 16 at that time.
When did you meet Monty Alexander?
Well, Monty, I met Monty when I was, I guess, in my 30s or something. Let me see, it was about in early, or was it late? About mid-50s, which would have been, I was about 20,
I see.
mid-20s
So you're around
or
the
so.
same age. He was a teenager.
Yes, he was a young
coming up
fellow.
when you were- Yeah.
And we have been associated all the time until today.
How did
off
you
and
meet?
on.
How did you meet?
Well, generally, he would meet me, he would come and see me playing at hotels or maybe nightclubs. Well, mostly hotels. I never play much nightclub. I play.
Right.
And recording studios, you know, and this is where the whole association began. And straight through the years, I mean, the first thing I did with him as a professional recording on his label was for MPS in about 1970 for, what's the name of this company? MPS in Villingen in South Germany. And well, we started from there, and I eventually got my own LP from this company too. Oscar Peterson and people like those
yes.
was on his
Real
label.
powerful people.
Yes, and
Yeah.
then I did something with them too, with Monty, and we just keep going on and on until today.
You've done this CD with him called Rocksteady, and
Yeah.
you were considered the creator of ska, which then became reggae and gone through the Rocksteady stage.
Yeah. Well, I would really give, I would say that I was the creator of ska, and I was the creator of reggae music also. But there are a lot of people who come and they protest, they claim that they were these first so I don't go much into that.
Now, you've been there before most of them.
Yes, but you know, I let them say what they have to say.
Yeah, yeah. Because you obviously started way before many of
yes,
them in terms
because
of the music.
well,
and
nearly
understanding
all
the
of
music.
them that are going to say what they're saying. Maybe I was the man who first recorded them.
I see.
And
Yeah.
do what, because I was always an A&R man for most of these recording
Right.
companies. So
You
I just
traveled, you traveled around the world. What would you say was your most exciting time, or one of your greatest experiences?
Well, there are so many, numerous, but there are so many things that I don't know,
hard to
but
pick one of
yes,
them out.
and but some of the things that really excite me most is when I see lovely sceneries. I love to, not to just go on plane rides, but I love to travel through the countries and
take in
the things of nature. I love, yes. That's
How
what
much of that works as inspiration? Where does your inspiration come from?
Well, God
creating
first to
music?
begin with.
Yeah, of course.
But, as I said, I was very much lover of music from a small boy. And I listened to a lot of great people, like I would say the first guitar player I've ever listened to was Charlie Christian and Oscar Moore and people like those. And then eventually I heard, about 10 years after that, I heard Django Reinhardt, the great French. They used to call him the three-finger lightning, because he had some of his fingers were crippled.
No.
So he could only play with 3 fingers.
Wow.
So, and then Les Paul came to. I was in Bahamas, and we met him. He was with at that time. He was with Mary Ford, and we had a great time. And he eventually came and looked for me the year after that in Jamaica because I was back in Jamaica. I usually go to and fro,
I see. So you do keep in touch with the Caribbean more?
Yes. And I never. It's very hard for me to leave,
Still.
So we met and we had a great time, and I started to make a lot of friends, guitar players. And,
do you prefer playing solo, or do you enjoy playing trios, the trios?
I do. A lot of people say they prefer to hear me play solo, but to me, I prefer to have musicians. Well, I love people, so I love to have people. Yes,
In the making of that CD, Rock Steady, what do you enjoy most about making that CD? Or what's your favorite piece on there?
Well, it's hard to say what is my favorite, but it brings back a lot of memories because most of those tunes were tunes that I was the A&R man for in those days, and so it's like bringing back memories all over.
Yeah.
And especially having a great man like Monty Alexander.
Yes,
so this is really, good fun. It's joy for me.
Great combination,
Yes.
When America wants to know what's happening in the Caribbean diaspora, there is one clear choice.
Hello, welcome to Carib Nation.
Both people inside and outside are
Very excited about today's program.
Looking at you, I can tell that you have traveled the journey.
This is Carib Nation Television, the source for news and information about the Caribbean and the diaspora. Seen locally in the Washington, D.C. area on MHZ Network, Saturdays at 1:30 p.m. and Wednesdays at 11:30 a.m. and on the World Wide Web at CaribNationTV.com. Carib Nation, the television for one people, one culture, one Caribbean, one nation. You're watching Carib Nation Television.
In terms of teaching young people guitar, the discipline of learning any instrument is very important.
Yeah.
Based on what you're seeing around the Caribbean, do you think that there's a great interest now among young people for jazz and for guitar playing and that sort of thing? Or are they more into the pop music?
Well, this is it. You can just put your finger on a few, but I think one of the problems too is because staying in the islands, even though I love the islands so much, but staying there, there's not much encouragement, let's put it that way. And people, a lot of these great musicians have to leave these islands and go otherwise. And this was one of the problems. So because of that, a lot of these young musicians, the older musicians were much more versatile. Because we used to have shows that we have to play for. Like I remember meeting like people from Egypt, people from Cuba, a lot of people from America during those times were like Broadway shows, so you get to learn a lot of show music. So, you had a variety. And with our own calypso and mento and so forth, So, and then I went to Haiti also, with Eric Deans, and we were the first band that came back to play the merengue.
Wow.
Yeah, so we, and then mambo and so forth. But we were the first kind of people who play those type of things too.
Yeah.
And in general, I think the young fellas need a little more versatility in their thing. They just, well, it's because, as I said, they don't have the people to really around them
To really support them.
Yes, so that is one of the problems.
Did you go from the ukulele straight to the guitar, and do you play any other instrument?
Well, yes, I used to, but not, I was a flute. I used to play a little flute. I used to play saxophone and a little bit of piano, not much. But I would say, yes, but I would say I'm more of a bass player and a guitar player.
I see.
But I've taught many people many other kind of instruments,
Now, what would you say is your key influence? Is it American jazz? Is it the Caribbean beat? Or do you have any preference?
As a young fellow, I was brought up into jazz music because from the swing era, like the days of Lionel Hampton, this is when I used to listen to Charlie Christian, and then like Lionel Hampton, Benny Goodman, and then when I used to play in Eric Dean's band, I started with Val Bennett's band first. And we used to play all these Stan Kenton, Count Basie, all we call those stock arrangements. All those things that they used to play, we had them on sheet music. So we could play exactly what they used to do. And this was very good for me. And that's what gave me a lot of experience because playing with a good-sized band, and I had a very reasonable amount of I had a good memory. So after maybe looking at my part about 2 times, I could memorize it. So because of that, I could sit back now and listen to like the sax section, the trumpet, the whatever sections. So this gave me a lot of knowledge because I'm listening to the arrangement and see what this arranger was thinking about, by looking through the harmonies and hear all these things. I think that's what gave me a lot of experience.
I see.
There was one thing about those musicians too, because in those days we didn't have all these bunch of mics around us. We just had one mic in front of us. So each person learned to listen to each other, and shading is there.
see.
You know, if it's
To
a
allow
sax
the one
section,
to
if
surface,
it's
yeah.
5 saxes, you can hear the distinction. And because they used to have a pride in their section.
Mm-hmm.
So if it's a sax section, they are going to make sure their section is clean and audible, you
Yes,
know?
yes,
And
yes.
this is a whole, you know, these things you don't see anymore.
I was just going to say, do you think that musicians today are less meticulous about their craft?
Well, you see, because I guess it coming like if you go to the supermarket today, and they just about 3 or 4 items, they have to take this adding machine and so forth. And you know, in those times you had to use your mind.
That's
And
true.
this is a problem.
Arithmetic,
Just the
yeah.
same thing. They have so many mics around them, so they just
They
play
don't have to
anyway
answer.
because they have somebody
They don't have to work at the craft.
this you know.
Yeah, yeah. Do you think then that is robbing the listener to some extent?
Well, I think this whole world is becoming too computerized. Let's put it that. Too many machines. Nobody's thinking. The mind is not. You're not getting much work, and you must.
You're not seeing the creativity.
A mind is a terrible thing to waste.
Yeah.
Let's put it that
I
way.
guess that's a great point. That's almost a great slogan to live by
Yeah.
in many cases. And obviously you've lived
Well,
that.
so far.
Yes, you seem to be doing pretty well.
Well, I'm getting pretty young now, so I don't
Yeah, how
know.
old are you now? May I
I'm
ask?
72.
72. So
Yeah.
you're doing pretty well. How much longer do you plan to go?
Well, whatever.
Until you can. Until keep going.
Yes,
Well,
yes.
that's what music does, isn't it?
Well, this advertisement about this battery keeps going and going.
When America wants to know what's happening in the Caribbean diaspora, there is one clear choice.
Hello, welcome to Carib Nation.
Both people inside and outside of
Very excited about today's program.
Looking at you, I can tell that you have traveled the journey.
Do you enjoy touring or does it get tiring for you?
No, I love to meet people all over the world, but the most important thing for me is to know that I can make them feel happy. That's my ultimate aim at all times, to make people happy.
Yeah.
If they are not happy, then I've not achieved anything, you know.
Where are your best audiences?
Wow, I don't know, because nearly everywhere I go, I think I'm well received.
Yeah.
You know. I've been all over South America, South Africa,
You go back to the
Australia, New
Caribbean fairly
Zealand.
often.
Yes, and a lot of Europe, you know, that's where I go most of the time.
I see, Europe.
America here too, but not much as like Europe and like Australia, South Africa,
Really?
places like that,
Wow.
yes.
Do you find that you have a greater opportunity to expand your music in Europe?
Well, I think the people, I guess
Is
you
it
would
more
say,
receptive or
yes,
warmer?
yes, and I guess it encourages you more to really, because if you see somebody is into what you're doing, you know that you're going to try.
Encourages you to
Yeah,
keep
of
going.
course, you
Yeah,
know.
yeah. Do you
Yes.
get to go back to play in the Caribbean jazz festivals in Barbados?
Yes, I do. I'd like Sir Garfield Stadium. I played there many times. The last jazz festival I played in Barbados was about 2 years ago. Yes.
I see. Coming back to the CD, Rock Steady,
Yes.
when you started working on that, did you plan that it would come out the way it did, or did it evolve as you went along? Did you have certain things that you wanted to bring back?
Well, the thing about it is that it was not my album, so therefore I go along with what
The program is.
Monty was. It was his album,
Right.
So I'm going to try my best to do whatever he wants me to do in that.
In that, I see.
Yes, you
Yeah.
know. So, well, I tried my best, and whatever came out, that was what that was
Yeah.
my best.
You seem a pretty easygoing guy. What is your philosophy of life? What
Wow.
philosophy do you live by day by day?
Well, as long as you can smile, and I mean from deep within, you can appreciate the things of life or whatever, people and everything in general, and really have the knowledge of what is around you, how you came, and where you would like to go. I think that is very important, and how you really approach it. Yes.
Do you see yourself as the architect of your own?
Well, every man is, because
Map, so to speak.
you're the captain of your
Yeah.
own ship.
And you're in control. And
Well, I hope that I can have a smooth sailing.
Well, I think you will. I think you've had so far, and I think you will.
Well, I'm trying.
Well, keep on trying.
Thank you.
On that point, it's great to have you, and thank you so much for talking.
Well,
with
it was great being here
pleasure.
too, and any other time too. It's great to meet you.
All
Nice
the best.
people all the time.
Continue doing what you're doing.
Thank you very much.